Hello everybody, welcome to EFL Championship predictions for round 8. First midweek round of the season. Tight turnaround. I'm off up in Manchester tomorrow doing the Sportsman podcast. Sam is doing the Poznan to cigarettes and alcohol, watching Oasis at Wembley Stadium tonight. So I am flying solo. There is no Sam Parkin, but there is a WhatsApp message here with all Sam's predictions on. So we will try and get through without the big man. He will be back on Thursday to predict round 9 as we round out this 3-game week. That's the bad news. The good news is I won round 7 and I won it 7-6. 2 bob-ons for me. Wrexham 1, Derby 1. Ipswich 2, Pompey 1. Sam did get West Brom and Leicester bob-on. He started well, but I had a better Saturday. 7-6 to me at the weekend. That is 4-2 from the first 7 rounds in my favour with 1 draw in there. Let us know how you go down there in the comments. You know the scores and whatnot by now. Let's get into round 8. Because Sam is not here, we will allow duplicate predictions this week. I'll still try and rotate the normal way we do, but I can reveal there are 3 duplicate predictions that we've both come up with. But hey, we're doing it remotely. We're going to get the show out come what may. Here we go then. And we're starting with Birmingham versus Sheffield Wednesday. Wednesday have had an all right couple of results, haven't they? A win and a draw. They're skewing slightly better away from home. Birmingham are concerning in the respect that they're not making enough chances. And I think it's 3 defeats in 4 now for Blues. And in those 3 games, 1 shot on target, which is slightly alarming. Sam has gone for Birmingham to win 1-0. So without reading his mind, I assume he's going with the idea that Birmingham are a bit goal shy at the moment. But with, squad power against Sheffield Wednesday, you've literally got the stars of summer recruitment versus the what can we call Sheffield Wednesday, the paupers of summer recruitment, and very opposite stories there. And I'm assuming Sam thinks they're just going to be able to get the job done by 1-0, as they did against Oxford at St Andrews, Birmingham. So he has gone 1-0. I'm thinking along similar lines. I've also backed a Birmingham win by a single goal. I've gone 2-1 Blues. I think Sheffield Wednesday can score. I think Sheffield Wednesday could even take the lead in this one. And then Birmingham will kind of get their act together and overpower them. They've just got to be able to get the likes of Kumas and Stansfield and Gray. I know they had Dukes injured in the warm-up the other day. Just got to get them into the game more. And I think when the pressure's on at St Andrews, I think they will be able to do that and they will get the win. So 2-1 for me. Game number 2 is Blackburn versus Swansea. I'm up first in this one. I don't see it being a home win. I've been impressed with Swansea. I think they felt a bit miffed not to beat Millwall, but they didn't get the job done and it turned out to be an unhelpful draw. I'm going to go for another draw from the Swans. They are showing good goal threat and building stars in Ronald and Vipotnik, who are both putting the numbers up. I just don't see them keeping a clean sheet up the other end. So I am playing a Desmond here, and I am going Blackburn 2, Swansea 2. Sam seems to have a particular taste for Blackburn at the moment because he did actually have them to win at Charlton at the weekend in his curveball of the round. He's got something with Blackburn because he's gone for them to beat Swansea here. Obviously, Blackburn did put up a decent showing in that abandoned game against Ipswich 2 games ago. That was at Ewood. Obviously not so good down at the Valley, easily beaten. But Sam thinks they've got enough to get past Swans here. And he's gone Rovers 2, Swans 1. On to the other team involved in that abandoned fixture, which we will stop talking about at some point. We're never going to stop talking about it. Bristol City versus Ipswich Town with Mr. Parkin up first. Bristol City in good form. They've got 8 points away from home. So I think they're unbeaten away from home, but not at home. I don't know. Maybe they're better suited to playing away from home, Bristol City, with the Struber press. Ipswich aren't winning away from home, but are winning at home. So I don't know whether one mitigates the other in terms of City's home form versus Ipswich's away form. There is some sense of a bit of a click at Ipswich, but I don't know. It's not like they're playing beautiful, free-flowing football all of a sudden. Although Mr. Parkin seems to think there's enough goal power to go to Bristol City and get the win. He has gone Robins 1, Ipswich 3. Now, I agree to some extent. I agree that there's going to be goals, but I've thrown my curveball in here because I think this could be massively open. You've got an Ipswich side who's going to always leave themselves open and try and play progressive passing football. And you've got a Bristol City side who aren't going to be scared of an Ipswich side playing progressive passing football, and they'll press the hell out of them. So I think there could be a load of goals. 6, to be precise. I'm going for my bonus point. Throw it in. I've gone Bristol City 3, Ipswich Town 3. And if that comes in, you can credit me afterwards, hey? Go and check out the odds for that. Is Hull versus Preston. I'm up first in this one, and I've started to back Preston now. Their start to the season doesn't seem to be a flash in the pan, does it? You can't just say, oh, they're good at home. They've had a couple of good results. It's pretty consistent now for them to be up there in the top 6 picture, isn't it? Hull, inconsistent and at worst, bad, I think. Although I'm liking the look of McBurney. So I'm going to give Hull a goal, but I'm going to go for an away win here. And I'm going to back Preston North End. I'm going Hull 1, Preston 2, and the excellent North End start to continue. I think Ben HD has got in my head with that appearance he made on the channel last week. Sam is going to bore you to tears with this one. He thinks, presumably, Preston are going to show up and take a point and park the bus a little bit. They want a 0. They want a clean sheet. Sam has gone 0-0. Hull 0, Preston 0. Which moves us to Leicester City versus Wrexham. I covered Leicester against West Brom on Friday. They weren't amazing, Leicester. I know West Brom are pretty good. They're pretty efficient, but a bit toothless and hapless in the big moments, aren't they? But Leicester did fizzle out during that game. And I don't know, because of maybe off-pitch stuff and maybe business plans with the EFL that we don't yet know about, that beyond the 11, I don't know what there is there. Maybe Leicester are going to have to do their bidding in the first 60 minutes of games in the main here, because they did sort of fizzle out, didn't they? And West Brom were quite unlucky not to win. Leicester snatched the draw at the end. However, both Sam and I are a bit higher on Leicester in this game. Wrexham got a 1-1 against Derby. Starting to come good for Wrexham, isn't it? I think now Hyam and Sheaf, particularly Kabore, O'Brien is doing really well. Broadhead's back as well. But, well, spoiler alert, we both think this is going to be a tricky one for Wrexham to go up to Leicester and get anything. Sam has gone Leicester 3, Wrexham 1. He thinks there's goals in it for Leicester. Look, there's always going to be goals in it for Leicester if they can get Mavadidi and Fatawu playing. Potentially, maybe some of the other parachute teams would argue, but, well, certainly 2 extremely good wingers. Maybe the best combination in the division. We'll find out as we go through the season. I think it'll be a little bit tighter. I have got Wrexham to score. They've got big threat from set plays, and they do cross the ball in from their wing backs and get the likes of O'Brien into the box. He scored at the weekend. Kabore's piling the assists on. I think Leicester will have too much. So I'm not quite as hot on it as Sam is, but I'm going to go Leicester 2, Wrexham 1. It's Middlesbrough v Stoke in a big clash up at the top of the table. I haven't got a table in front of me for once. I think is that first against third? Yeah, I think Stoke dropped below Coventry at the weekend. And the way I'm seeing this is both sides are similar enough in that they've both been pretty tight, pretty efficient, not necessarily blowing everybody away, but hard to beat. And on the right side of a lot of games, both of these teams, Middlesbrough have, they're obviously undefeated. Stoke have had a few problems in recent games. And it just strikes me the way things are falling for Middlesbrough at the moment. If they're in a game, they win it. And if they're struggling in a game, they kind of get out of dodge, don't they, without losing. So I think it's a good moment for Middlesbrough. Got a lot of confidence going. They've got a brilliant central midfield pair. They've got good attacking options. And that lad Sene's coming off the bench and grabbing goals, isn't he? I'm going to get Whittaker in the goals maybe in the end. That would be something, wouldn't it? So I think it's going to be tight. And at the moment, if it's tight and Borough are in a game and they're at home, they get the win. So I've gone Borough 1, Stoke 0. Sam has also gone for Borough to keep a clean sheet and for Borough to win the game. It's not a scribble. It's not a duplicate. We're not having any scribbles today. It's not a duplicate. Sam thinks there's more in it in terms of goals. And they did score twice against West Brom up at Riverside, didn't they? Sam has gone Middlesbrough 2, Stoke 0, which would keep Borough up at the top of the table. What would that be? 20 points from 8 games, am I right? Wow. Impressive stuff if Borough can get the win. And it would be a key win over a key rival if you're talking about putting points in between you and people close to the table right now. May not be Borough and Stoke up there all season, but right now, beat what's in front of you and get up to the top of that league. And that's what Borough have done. Sheffield United versus Southampton. Now, this is a duplicate scoreline. Sam and I both think the same thing's going to happen in this game. So I'll say my rationale, and maybe Sam's will be similar. He can speak for himself on Thursday. Sheffield United got themselves that first point, that first win at Oxford at the weekend. Chris Wilder said, look, it was never going to be pretty. It just had to be done and effective. And they went away, won 1-0, got the job done. Southampton are having to play 2 away games midweek and weekend. They also played away, didn't they, at Liverpool in midweek last week. So not only are they not quite clicking yet under Will Still's leadership there, but they've got a lot of travelling. And it's a complex time for Southampton leading up to international break 2 after the weekend coming up. And I don't think they get on a run until after international break 2. Neither does Mr. Parkin, apparently, because we've both got a home win. We've both got both teams to score. Sam maybe agrees with me that Southampton have just got enough quality to grab goals in any game, even though not necessarily playing that well at the moment. And we have both gone for Sheffield United 2, Southampton 1, which will see Sheffield United pushing up and away from the bottom. You don't often get teams who are bottom of the table win 2 games in a row. It can happen at the start of the season if someone's in a, quote, false position after a terrible managerial kind of debacle that we've had at Bramall. Where is this going to leave Southampton, though, if they don't pick up a win in the next 2 games? They're already down there fighting around the bottom 6. Could they go even lower before things right themselves, which they should do under Will Still? Game number 8. And we've got 8 games on Tuesday and 4 on Wednesday, which doesn't do good for my OCD in terms of, give me 6 and 6, even it out a little bit. This is the TV game. We should do this as a watch-along if all is organised and going well in my life and on the YouTube channel on Tuesday night. So join me for that one. Derby versus Charlton. And Sam and I have gone for the same scoreline in this one. I think this is going to be a right battle, a right early winter. I know it's autumn, but do you know what I mean? It's cold. It's been raining today. It's the first midweek round. Muscle memory kicks in these midweek games. If you can draw the one in the middle and get your points either side, you're happy with your total, aren't you? It's Eustace versus Jones. So on the one hand, we'll have the Eustace solid team shape versus the Jones pressing. That will kind of butt up against each other. And neither myself or Sam can separate the 2 sides. It could be even exactly the same as what happened with Derby at the weekend in terms of maybe Charlton get the lead, maybe Derby peg them back. I don't know which way round Sam's thinking it, but we've both gone honours even, a goal apiece. Derby 1, Charlton 1. Which takes us to Wednesday night, 4 games remaining. Millwall versus Coventry. And I promise there's no more after this. Sam and I are a duplicate scoreline on this one as well. Millwall, well, Watford were a bit hapless in that game we covered on Monday. And I got a bit of a sense that a little bit smashy and grabby Millwall at Swansea, wasn't it? They nabbed a set play goal in first half stoppage time and kind of took Swansea's momentum out of the game. And I don't know, it feels like Millwall are doing the simple things well, while they try and find the strategy. We thought it was going to be Coburn and Ivanovic, but it seems to be going more 4-2-3-1 and using a number 10. So they're tweaking early in the season to what they thought that they were going to be doing, whereas Coventry know exactly what they want to be doing, and they've been doing it for, 9-10 months under Frank Lampard now, and pretty successfully. They've gone up to second. They are undefeated. Not only do both Sam and I think that undefeated run will continue, but we've both got Coventry going to Millwall, where they have been beaten this season. They've actually been better away from home, Millwall, than at home. We've both got Coventry going there and winning. We've both got Millwall scoring, but Coventry have banged in already, I think it's 18 goals in 7 games. And I've set it up. Both Sam and I have gone for Millwall 1, Coventry 2. So we have got both the top 2 winning. And obviously if Middlesbrough win, by default that means Stoke lose because they play each other. So we would have a vaguely solidifying top 2 at this point. But we could be wrong. We could both be wrong. We could both be wrong twice. How about that? Norwich versus West Brom. Norwich are undefeated away from home. They have not been very good at home. A little bit toxic as well at Carrow. Lots of booing. I know Wrexham scored bang, bang, bang in the last game at Carrow Road, didn't they? But the City fans not particularly impressed with what's been going down in the home games. They did obviously go away to a Stoke side right up in the table, grab themselves a draw. But again, like the Coventry game away for Norwich, how convincing was it? You know, they nicked a goal and they hung on in there. Honestly, Norwich fans could have lost both of those games, couldn't they? And maybe Norwich fans like me have got an eye on the game at the weekend. I think you all know what that is, but we'll get to that later in the week. It's all I'm going to be asked about later in the week, isn't it? West Brom are most of the way there. They look organised. They look neat and tidy, but key moments in penalty boxes, I know, aren't really working for them. And I'm watching them and it feels like their performances can get more points than they are at the moment. But then, you know, losing home games with the odd shot against Derby and conceding right at the 2 points when Middlesbrough got chances in that game. And it should have beaten Leicester, shouldn't they? Chances going a begging and then conceding stoppage time. They're just not putting together winning stuff. Which means I have gone for a draw in this one. So, I don't know. I think Norwich would be happy with that, being they haven't been scoring any points at home. I think there's goals in it. Where there's Sargent, I always say there's goals in terms of Norwich. And, yeah, West Brom, it just needs some more efficiency up there. They should have had a 2 or even a 3 on the score sheet at the weekend. Ealing Jr.'s early goal should have been added to by Madger. Particularly, there's another chance as well that went a begging, but I've gone 2-2. Sam also has got the draw, but he's hedging a little bit more on a lower scoreline. There were 6 of these at the weekend. Sam has gone Norwich 1, West Brom 1. It's Pompey versus Watford. Watford, as I said in the hot takes, the manager, Pezzolano's approval rating seemed to be going down, 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 down. Wasn't great at Millwall in that defeat in the 2 games ago. And they were trailing at half-time against Hull at the Vic at the weekend. However, they did come back and win that game. I don't know whether Watford fans are going to say that's papering over the cracks and the struggles are going to continue. I think they are going to continue, and so does Sam. Portsmouth went off to Ipswich, and I don't know, it feels like that game went 2-0 and both parties kind of said, okay, we'll take it. Let's all leave and shake hands. And then Pompey nicked a goal at the very, very death. But I think Portsmouth win this one. I think the Fratton weather, it's not going to be great down there on a Wednesday night, is it? I've gone Pompey 2, Watford 0. Sam has gone Pompey 2, Watford 0. My bad. I'm trying to read these in order. I have gone Pompey 1, Watford 0. So I think it's going to be slightly tighter. Both of us has gone for the Portsmouth home clean sheet. Hopefully they'll have some of those unavailable players back for their sake. And Chaplin will be back available. He was embargoed at the weekend. It's Murphy, Lang, they're missing up top. Shaughnessy, Schmidt at the back. We've both gone for a Pompey win. Finally, number 12. And again, if this all goes well this week and we're organised, and my life is pointing in the right direction, we should get another watch-along in. QPR versus Watford on Wednesday night. So half of my prediction is I want an exciting game. And I feel Oxford have been a little bit less pragmatic than they were under Gary Rowett in terms of last season, where it was very much like, we need to get out of dodge. We need to get some clean sheets and pinch some 1-0 wins and optimise for that. He's now got the whole season and they look a little bit more open. So I think there's goals in this, but unfortunately I think there's goals moreover for QPR, especially at home under the lights at Loftus. King Kone and Saito, and is Dembele fit yet? And Vale. And they've got some all right players up top there, haven't they? So I've gone QPR 3, Oxford 1. Now, Sam thinks it's going to be less goaly than me, and he does think there's going to be a 1-0 in the air, but not a 1-0 to Oxford like Gary Rowett was the mastermind of last season. Come on, it's Sam doing QPR, isn't it? Of course he's gone for the home win. He's gone QPR 1, Oxford 0. There we go, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Get your predictions down there in the comments. You can copy and paste. They're all in the description in the chapter, so you can copy and paste. Pop your own predictions in. Remember, a point for a correct outcome, 3 for a correct scoreline. And if you go for 5 or more goals, like I have, Bristol City 3, Ipswich 3, how about that? You get yourself a bonus point. Thank you for bearing with while Sam is not here for this one. We chatted, we tried to make it work. It is really difficult. Basically, you've got Sunday and then a bit of Monday morning. And Sam's not about on the Sunday. I'm not about on the Monday. Therefore, we're screwed. But the big man will be back on Thursday with more predictions. And then we'll be able to pick Sam's brain properly after the round 9 fixtures at the weekend, and we can get into a proper championship check-in podcast and do a bit of a State of the Nation thing at international break number 2. Anyway, predictions in. It's going to be a super busy week with games on Tuesday, Wednesday. We should be back on Friday night. I think it's Birmingham and Wrexham. Are we doing that one on a watch-along as well? And then at the weekend, round 9, culminating in the East Anglian derby. Oh my God. It's a good thing it's a 3-game week, because then I can focus on other things before that god-awful occasion comes around once again. Thank you everybody for joining. Predictions in down there. Thumbs up, subscribe, and we will see you very soon. By the way, check out the Sportsman podcast tomorrow. That's what I'm in Manchester doing. That'll be coming out on their channel, and you can hear more from me over there.